Okay. I think we can, since you already mentioned the topic, we are trying to delve into a topic which is relevant to, I think, most of us. Specifically, I would definitely raise my hand if asked whether I'm inconsistent. So why is consistency so difficult? So difficult.
I think firstly, there's a lot of procrastination. I think it's the point between wanting to be consistent to doing something to finally getting into action is what I feel. Uh, because I'm sure most of us want to be consistent in so many things that we do every day, but it is always not possible, and more so at a time like this. Because there are other distractions, there are other pull and push factors, whether it's our own personal stuff. Because sometimes when you want to be consistent, that being consistent is also tied to other people being involved in that activity, whether it is work or whether it is your personal commitments. But largely, I feel it's probably inertia. One tends to get lazy, I would say. Uh, but then again, it also depends what is it that one wants to really be consistent or inconsistent with, and how important that end result of that activity is for each of us, Bunty.
Mm, okay, we'll start with an example that was running in my mind when we thought we would cover this topic. Um, when we had to start doing household work due to the lockdown with our house help not coming. Initially, I think few days I took it up with a vengeance, and each and every corner of the house was spick and span. Um, After 3 4 days, I started saying, "Oh, this is too much of hard work. Let me avoid the corners that nobody gets into. Why do we get so fussy about behind the door or stuff like that?" Over a period, my ability to look at it with more objectivity, trying to do things in a proper manner, had certain days where I was good, and I kept a basic benchmark that I would not slack off in the mind. Uh, and yet, if you were to be asked, there were days where for 2 or 3 days I would just not do it at all, just getting caught up with
Mm.
something or the other. While I have the excuse of that I was doing some work, I wasn't sitting and faffing around, and but I know of other friends who are equally dedicated to all the things that they pick up. So if we were to try and delve deeper, um, I would think it was slacking off, to be very honest, at a point where I felt, okay, this is not the kind of job that I want to do. So I get a chance, I have some work, so that helps me wriggle out of the commitment to help the household with what work I do not like. So the idea is the mind does not like it. Uh,
Okay.
would you look at it like that?
Yes and no, because since you particularly gave the example of starting off doing things domestically, and because of COVID and not having that, support coming in every day, etc. So for me, it is a bit different because here in the UK, we don't have all those luxuries, right?
Yeah,
Uh, you get what I mean?
I know,
So I do have a cleaning lady who comes once a week, but cleaning your house once a week is just not enough. And I think back home, you guys are in a family, larger family. There are people. If you drop the ball one day, or maybe 2 or 3 days, somebody else will pick it up. So you know that at the back of your mind, you may be told off, you may be said you're not doing anything. There will be those noises in the background, but eventually somebody will pick it up. Whereas in my case, I know that there is nobody who's going to pick it up.
okay.
You get my point. So there are, I think, I tend to be consistently inconsistent depending upon how that activity is going to affect others. Like cooking, for example. I'm the only one who cooks in the family. My husband doesn't know how to cook, but my daughter does help me around it. So if I decide, okay, I'm not going to make lunch today, I know all the three of us will go hungry. So whether I like it or not, I have to be consistent daily in my cooking.
Okay, but that is something I am talking about. Like this, I had to pick up and I had a choice. When
Yeah,
we do not have a choice, I like the fact that you demarcated the two things absolutely differently from each other. Because when you have a choice, that is the point where you tend to get
yeah.
lethargic, or you choose to do or not. So my question to you specifically is, would you pick up an example? I gave an example that pertains to me, but if you had to
Hmm.
pick up an example where one wants to exercise daily or one wants to create art daily, the things that are useless, uh, or maybe just pertaining to you and there's no pressure, how would you
Yeah.
delve deeper into something like that?
I mean, that's a good point because I was pretty consistent with my daily walk up until last week. And then suddenly I just stopped and I'm unable to restart now. In my head, I tell myself I need to get up and go for my walk in the morning, but I'm not doing it for the last week or so. Probably because me not going for a walk is not going to have an impact on anybody else other than me. So there is a choice here to, just give it up and, beat yourself, of course, but you know that it's not going to impact others.
So
Have
if you had to go deeper into that, if you had to change it, the point of decision where you decide, oh, I am not picking it up today,
hmm,
um, I think one of the things I have realized, it just came to me, is the first time you break that thing
hmm,
is you allow it an entry, and then it starts to get difficult. The first day that you decide, oh, today I won't go for a walk because my anyway I am tired, I had a late night, or I'm just
whatever.
or something. That entry point just compromises your mind very deeply. Is it
Yeah,
resonate with?
I do, absolutely. I do tell myself why I didn't go. I do make up for it in a different way, and then next day again I tell myself, oh, I'm going to wake up 15 minutes early and probably make up for the last 1 week's no walking. But yeah, I haven't been able to do that after the 2nd of June. I've not done anything actually. So yeah.
So how does one that make that a priority in our lives, that we will not let ourselves off again, off being, because there's no punishment for it, but since we are the ones who've decided that walking or uh, going to the gym or any such thing is of use to us, and
Hmm.
yet we are not picking it up as a responsibility, um, as a responsibility, if one were to call it that. So would that be a concern, that we are not allowing ourselves the liberty to make a good choice about ourselves?
Yeah, I think once in a while it's okay to drop the ball, isn't it?
Hmm. It is. It
I
is.
feel, yeah, I feel once in a while it's okay to drop the ball, because at the end of the day, maybe the time that you don't do something, you're probably utilizing to think over something or something of that kind, is what I would say. Maybe prioritizing something, because I used to come into the office pretty much every day up until the COVID thing happened, and I didn't come to the office for almost 9 weeks, because I knew I couldn't go and I didn't have a need because my business scenario had also changed. But now I've been back in the office since last week and I try to be here at least 4 days a week. And the reason I'm consistent with that is because I know it's going to have an impact.
Okay. So are we saying, if we were to look at the benefits and evaluate it in light of those, that if you are consistently walking, you will have a certain quality of health, and keep looking at that benefit, the the self carrot, if I were to call it,
Yeah,
would that help?
I would imagine so. It's usually what it is at the end of whatever you're trying to do, right?
Hmm.
Whether it's an activity for yourself or people that are dependent on you. And I think I would like to believe that most of us would choose to slack off things which are not that impactful.
Uh,
Like I'm sure